Nick Dutch here. Gonna carry on the same vein for a while. Got another private message. This individual says, I have watched some of your videos and agree with what you discuss and have to say a good percentage of the time. Good, like it. Nice. Okay, carry on. I do not find myself, however, enamored with the way you seem to talk down to those who would seek higher meaning, purpose to life through spirituality. What are you talking about? Simply, what are you talking about? I am very pro-religion. I am very in favor of people developing their own religiosities. I'm not pro people seeing a religious interpretation as being a literal truth. I'm not in favor of people seeing their interpretation of a religious understanding of something as something which should control, national policies on, like, education or, birth control, things like that, okay? I've got my own divisions. I want people to be happy in their faith or within their atheism or within their agnosticism or their deism. I want people to be happy that way. I'm in favor of it, okay? I'm pro-religion. I don't think I've said anything which is against spirituality, or indeed people finding their own path and trying to find a meaning to life and spirituality. I'm against dogma, yeah, because it sucks. Full stop. I shouldn't have to explain why. The message goes on. Often it seems as your opinion of those who would seek enlightenment, spirituality, are either severely misinformed, ignorant, or just plain stupid. No. Well, what do you mean by enlightenment spirituality? I identify with deism, and deism came out of the Enlightenment. What are you talking about? Precisely, what are you talking about? And what is your definition of enlightenment or enlightened spirituality? Is it your enlightened spirituality? And how do you know that I don't have it and you don't understand it? How? By what measure? By what, specific definition? Precise definition, fixed in time and space and constant throughout the universe, makes you think that I'm against people seeking enlightenment? I do exercises for the purposes of achieving transcendental states of mind and having experiences of God, of angels, of archangels, of the chakras opening, of spiritual healing energy flowing through my being. This is what I do, okay? I do it. It's part of me. It's what I mean when I call myself a transdeist. I do transcendental exercises, but I'm also, critical. And I think for myself. I just want people to be able to think for themselves, okay? Please don't misunderstand me. It says there, please don't misunderstand me. If you don't want me to misunderstand you, I want you to explain your terms. Precisely explain your terms. What do you mean when you say enlightenment? What do you mean when you say spirituality? I've heard of the word spirituality meaning anything from belief in ghosts, to going to church, to playing with a Ouija board, to reading a book on philosophy once a year. Tell me what your understanding of the word spirituality is. I can look at some atheist videos and I can see they've got a very good spirituality. They don't know it, but they have. And it's not because they believe in God or goddesses or angels or spirits or demons or they play around with Ouija boards, but they've got a spirituality. Okay? And it's a question of meaning and meanings to their life. And it's all there. And all we humans have it. We just have to learn to be able to recognize that these things that we've got, which make us human, are in fact a form of spirituality. This is one of my arguments anyway. It goes on here. But even as a scientist, you must well know there are many things that are tangible, unmistakably real. They're there for us to behold and cannot be explained by any means of empirical proof. Wait a second, have I read this wrong? But, even as a scientist, as you must well know, there are many things, I thought it says the word things, but I'm sure they mean things, that are tangible, unmistakably real, and there for us to behold, that cannot be explained by any means of empirical proof. No. This exists. This telephone exists. Empirical proof, fine. There are intangibles. there are things which can be experienced, which we can't necessarily describe, define, or explain normally. Like during the exchange experiences, when I shared dreams with people, had an astral projection, had a visitation from an angel, or seemed to, because I was doing this weird ritual thing and I was in meditation and the rest of it. And when I was meditating here and doing prayerful stuff here, and a being appeared in front of me and then vanished. Alright, this was weird. This was weird shit, and I loved it. I just loved it. It's beautiful, okay? It probably can't be properly explained. And even if it could be properly explained, there would still be other intangibles, other unknowns. And an unknown remains an unknown, but there's still these strange experiences and we can still have them. This is what I've been saying all along. Pay attention. But you do not, it says here, I do not refer to personal experiences. So I don't know what you're talking about there. My question to you is, what is your goal, purpose, or mission in sending these messages through the ether waves? Well, number one, I actually think it's quite good and quite positive that people experiment with the occult and actually have some strange experiences. In some cases it will bring people to a faith in God or a religion or a personal spirituality. In other cases what it will do is it will enable people to perpetually ask questions. And I think it's important to ask questions about our world and our reality. We as humans have the capacity to have these strange experiences, therefore it says something about us as humans because we have the capacity to have these strange experiences. And this is something which is very poorly researched, okay? So it's important that these ideas are perpetually out there. Those are my main real motivations. My other one is I don't want people to be involved in any cults. I don't want people to be brainwashed by a bunch of fundamentalist people, whether they're New Agers or Christians or Jews or Islamic or, pagans or Wiccans or anything. I want people to have the freedom of thought. Now, apart from the law of the land, and of course social values, which I sort of fit into just about, so it's for the purposes of survival and getting on and getting by in life, I have no one to control me. Alright, that's good. Because I'm here using the tools of the internet and the expression of information out there as a way of learning without necessarily just absorbing something which someone else has said. This is why I go to videos on logical fallacies, so I can, keep myself, in the loop, so to speak, and I can challenge ideas when they come to me. Alright, and I can also grow in terms of my own understanding and my own wisdom about how the way the world works and all of this weird heebie-jeebie occult stuff that I play around with. Alright, so it's a conversation to a certain degree. I get something from the internet and I give something back to the internet. I continue to watch your videos and no doubt disagree with some. I just wanted to know your work is appreciated. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me, albeit not always agreed with. I'm just curious as to what you're about. Thank you very much for taking the time to read this, and please consider responding when you find the time. I would be much obliged. Okay. It's very good of you to write this message to me. But I think that although people find me very hard to pin into a box, people do. This is something about me. Okay, Nick Dutch is difficult to pin into a box. He's a this, he's a that, he's a the other. Boo. I'm not. Okay? I'm a human being who's had strange things happen, wants to understand them, wants to carry on experiencing them, wants to tell other people that these strange experiences can happen, wants to persuade people to have these strange experiences. I am not anti any form of religion. I personally would say that every single religion on the face of the planet is just sub-denominations of the same probably great singular faith. Possibly, or not, I don't know. But it would make some sense. I personally have come to this sort of weak belief that we are all little brain cells in the head of God, and God is life, and God is the world, and God is the universe, and we're all part of it. And there's something else beyond what we know about. And we're a part of that too. Which is weird. Now, if this is not enlightenment of a sort, if this is not a spirituality of a sort, I'm sorry. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. I'm just going to be myself. And I'm going to, try and help people to not be brainwashed by cults, to not accept the dogmatic rubbish which is being forced into them left, right and centre from some of the main faiths, as well as all of the minor faiths and new faiths that are out there, as well as any would-be cult leader who's suddenly appearing somewhere on the internet. So to give people control over their own life and self-control back. This is actually important to me. Alright? I've seen and I have personally met individuals, lots of them, who were by their very nature incredibly disturbing and disturbed. And if some of those people who are in that kind of mindset stumble upon my videos and accept some of the things that I say and then start thinking for themselves, I would have done some good. But suggesting that everyone should just go to enlightenment, go to the light. That's dense. That's pathetic. Because it's portraying a message that the person who's telling them to go for this, whatever this great enlightenment is, knows it as a fact. And that is something which should disturb you. Seriously disturb you. And that's whether you're a scientist, whether you're a spiritualist, you got great qualifications, you've written down all the letters which are after your name there, wonderful. But you yourself, despite the fact you've got an education, there's some ways in which you're missing out on thinking. Now I've got a good education, well I've got a reasonable education, and well, actually quite a good one actually. But I've also realized that I've got a foundation of not only information gathering, but I've also got to carry on building my foundation of information assessment and information challenging, because that's what would make me a good person by my estimation. God bless.